Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Smashi Business Show. I'm Warid Ahmed.
And I'm Abdul Majid.
And it is the 13th of Feb today. It's a Thursday. It's almost the end of the week. And we got great topics for you today. Firstly, Elon Musk has said today, this morning at Dubai and in the World Government Summit that America needs to mind their own business and that they're too pushy. Secondly, we're going to tell you all about the $20 billion investments that occurred at Leap. And thirdly, one of them specifically that happened at Leap that's really special is that they're going to build a $5 billion AI data center at the Neom project in Saudi Arabia that has supposedly failed according to Western media. But, anywho, how are you today, Majid?
I'm good. Very busy day since morning, since World Government Summit Day 3 is on. Leap happened yesterday.
I still feel so much regret that I did not go.
World Government Summit?
I was telling you this, Majid. I tried to go. I spoke to my best friend who's there every single day, Eliazi Al-Mahari, and she spoke about her company there from the Arabs, and you know what she told me? She even showed me the entire process. She said that they have such an articulate process to get into the World Government Summit. Not everybody can get in there. And by the way,
it's kind of an invite-only event.
It's not just invite-only event, but you have to be she told me that you actually have to be a part of a company that's sponsoring the event so that it's easier for you to get in. And her way was DP World through her dad. Nice. And she told me that I wish you had told me months ago because, I'd get you in through DP World and then they'd have to screen you. She told me that, by the way, they screen your entire identity. They make sure that, I know you know, but I'm not sure if you guys know. And it's a very good safety process goes into it. And honestly, as it should be, on day 0, which was basically just a launch day, Sheikh Hamdan was there, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Ghati, Hussein Sajwani, and you know what's even more interesting about all of this, Majid? I was really shocked. Yesterday, I was just watching some of the updates. Josh Richards, this American TikToker, was there on a panel. And if you know TikTok and you know these people,
he's a content creator,
he was a part of this house called the Sway Boys really long time ago, and he was just doing TikTok dances with Charlie D'Amelio. So when I saw his face, I even put my glasses down. I'm like, Josh Richards in Dubai at a panel at World Government Summit for dancing on TikTok.
Who was interviewing him? He's the Forbes editor. So they brought in a seasoned journalist, a guy who does journalism for a job since 20 years, and they brought a content creator, and they made them sit down. And I remember one of the questions that the Forbes guy said, he's like, how do we make the news and the traditional legacy media more appealing to Gen Z? And he had a very great idea. He was like, make us a part of it, bring us on board. Make us do news with you, but in our style. So it's we need to find a middle ground, a synergy where we, the content creators who understand Gen Z and know how to provide content, they know the packaging.
Gen Z with his thirst traps. No, I mean it. No, that's what Josh Richards is famous for, by the way. Like him, he was a part of something called the Sway Boys with Bryce Hall. This guy called Griffin.
But he was famous.
And no, but I mean it. What all his videos were? They were all thirst traps. So I just to see a guy who does thirst traps and just dances at the World Government Summit, one of the most respected summits in the UAE, I'd say even in the Middle East, in the world, to see him there in the panel with a Forbes editor, a very seasoned journalist, as you said, Majid, I can't lie to you, I was a bit shocked there. I was like, oh, okay.
I was shocked, but I was really actually interested because there's this idea that only journalists are doing journalism, but you see the numbers, the recent numbers, whenever we have an event tomorrow on Friday, our own in-house event by Augustus Media.
You guys can still come.
Yeah, so the first one that we had, I remember a lot of influencers came and they said a lot of great things. So this time also they're coming, and we have the Ramadan edition, how to package stuff for Ramadan. But obviously there is going to be talk about a lot of other stuff. The main interesting point for me was this guy knows the audience. You call it thirst trap, you call it anything. This guy understands that this is the packaging, whatever I do, this is the packaging. And the product inside can be created by Forbes or legacy media like CNN, BBC. And we've seen that with KT Plus. As soon as he said this, that make us part of it, I was like, okay, Khaleej Times Plus, KT Plus is doing a good job with this. Their alt account, KT Plus, they're doing videos. We talked about it before when we were discussing the Monify story as well, that Monify came, invested millions in the start and didn't work out, 100 people were let go. But KT Plus is going slow and smooth. They're at nearly 50,000 followers. So they're appealing to the Gen Z with that fast-paced videos.
By the way, they're definitely appealing to me. They are.
So you have to understand that this, again, your point is completely valid.
Yeah.
But I think it was really interesting just putting a not random, but a content creator. A random content creator as in the sense that he's not a journalist. You put a season,
But
the discussion would be like fireworks.
You know who they invited, by the way? That was also really interesting. So first of all, they actually set up a creators HQ at the World Government Summit. And secondly, they brought in this guy. He's called Dylan Page. And if you know Dylan Page, he goes on TikTok and basically on this like desk setup, it's like this IT setup, he tells the news. And you know, from like a bunch of my friends, Majid, Gen Z friends, as you'd like to call them, they all watch Dylan Page, by the way. I don't watch him, but they say that, oh my God, I love the way that Dylan Page tells us the news. So in that sense, I definitely understand it.
Sorry, I was making the point that our event is, and all the industry researchers that you see online, everyone is saying that nearly 50% of the world is now getting their news from social media. That was
the
point
BBC said it.
Yeah. So that is the main point, that if you're getting it from social media, you have to use a person who knows social media. So content creators do come into this new age where we're moving towards. See, content is content. News is content. Entertainment content is again content. Even the written piece that you see on a paper is content at the end of the day. So how content will evolve will depend how these two generations, two ideologies, two different sets of like ethics even.
It's, you know what?
Old people have different, old journalists have a different set of ethics. Content creators have a very different set of ethics. How they will merge together, and from there we'll see the future of content.
You know, I think with content, what I've noticed is with certain creators is they're very authentic in the way that they're not being sponsored, so they'll tell you what you need to know. I told you about this before, Majid. There was this lady on TikTok, and she was like, by the way, for everyone standing at this breakfast spot waiting to eat there, I just want you to know that this is how they cook their food, and that it's really nasty and you don't want to be there. And then I remember a bunch of people said that before I literally go anywhere, I deep dive it on TikTok. So what comes with what these content creators usher in is they usher in this new format of truth, this new format of genuity, you know, of just being genuine. And that's something very rare nowadays. You know what this brings me to the topic of? Just a while ago, Majid, I had gone to my university for this BMW talk. So basically BMW, in collaboration with the University of Birmingham, they help students there get internships. And but like if you know BMW, by the way, it's really difficult to get an internship there. I had a friend who they interned for Rolls-Royce, and the process was, it was 50 people, by the way, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And at every single, I believe, 2 to 3 hours, they cut the number down until it reached 10 people. And those 10 people, that's when it was finally like, it wasn't like group work and presentations. It was those 10 people being interviewed by all of the directors, and they cut it down to 6 people. Imagine, that's a process for interns. But beside that point, I spoke to these 2 BMW heads, and they're a part of operations, but they're also a part of recruitment. And you know what they told me, Majid? They said, man, people need to stop using ChatGPT the way that they do. They were like, we use ChatGPT, but when we're looking through your LinkedIn, we can tell that you're not being genuine. Yeah. We can tell that you're not presenting yourself. You know, they said that we sit with people and we interview them, and we're like, you know, why BMW? And instead of somebody actually telling the real reason, like for example, the guy I was speaking to, he told me, he was like, the reason why I went into BMW was because of the fact that my bicycle that I was riding in Spain when I was a kid, it was from BMW. And he went like, he told me that he put out an entire timeline, a plan into how he's going to intentionally become a part of the BMW team. Do you know, like that, that's dedication, Majid. And he said, so when I ask somebody, I'm like, why BMW? And then you sit there and you tell me, and you're like, oh, because it's such a prestigious establishment. I can tell you're not genuine. When I look through your LinkedIn and I can tell that it's all ChatGPT responses, I can tell that you're not genuine. And that's why these content creators that are being invited to World Government Summit, that have this Creators HQ created for them, that's why I feel that they're being invited and why they're so important. They're so genuine. And in the world that we live in now, Majid, it's so rare. It's so rare to sit with somebody who's going to be real with you and be genuine and not speak with their brain, but speak with their mouth. But I don't recommend it. Still do think before you speak. I'm not telling you to go to that direction, but being genuine, it's so important. And let me tell you guys, Elon Musk this morning at Dubai's World Government Summit, he was genuine. This man showed up, first of all, with a t-shirt that says tech. Imagine,
tech support,
this is one of the richest men in the world, a t-shirt that says tech, and he goes like, you know, America needs to mind their own business. And you know what? I agree with him. They need to mind their own business, like not for, you know, not to get political or anything, but we've seen it in the past. Like America, Majid, I feel that this is like their main ideology, and it is the fact of that we want to promote democracy. We want to promote choice. So then why was it your choice to enter into Iraq, to enter into Afghanistan, to enter into these countries and change,
everywhere.
and quite literally change the course of their history and you know, not to be political and actually bring it back to the business point. I think this is a reason why Trump has a lot of people who stand with him, a lot of businessmen like Hussein Sijwani who stand with him. It's because of the fact that Trump has very business-friendly policies. I feel that Trump, at certain points, he leans more into business more so than politics. If you notice, he's always concerned about the money. He really is always concerned about the money. And you know, me and Majid, we saw it this morning while watching the interview that Hussein Sijwani had with an interviewer at CNN at 1 a.m., by the way, where basically Sijwani was like, yeah, me and Trump, we have a great relationship. And, you know, he invested, I believe, into OpenAI. Yeah,
XAI. He said everything, and I was like, we didn't know that.
Yeah, he invested into a lot of AI projects other than the $20 billion projects. And he also mentioned something very specific, and he finally gave us a confirmation. Trump has, you know, business-friendly policies that are going to allow me to expand into the U.S. It came straight out of his mouth. Wed is not saying it anymore. Majid is not saying it anymore. We heard it right from Hussein Sijwani, and I think that's what basically Elon Musk was trying to do today at the World Government Summit, Majid. I feel like he was basically trying to say that America needs to mind their own business, and my friend Donald Trump is minding his own business by caring more about money. But what do you think?
His whole this idea is, one, first of all, it's politics. It's very clearly a political statement that we should stop interfering in other countries because at the end of the day, it does cost money. It costs money in supporting other countries with arms, ammunition, helicopters, jet fighters. Everything costs money, and those jets and those all that ammunition and weapons are not cheap. So that's the point. That's the very first thing that comes out of it, the business perspective. Secondly, he's the head of DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. We have an equivalent in UAE. Even before DOGE was formed, the UAE already had a zero bureaucracy program, which was launched last year nearly, but before DOGE. And I remember the UAE AI minister, he also talked about it that when DOGE was announced, he said that we already have it, and he flaunted it like, oh, we already have it. So tech support, the shirt that he was wearing, I think it was indication, very clear indication that the world has moved on towards AI, towards robotics, towards whatever he is doing.
Towards being more genuine.
Yeah, towards being more genuine and towards more tech. That's the main idea. But importantly, Elon Musk saying that we should not interfere. Elon Musk saying that we need to literally erase agencies, government agencies. He's saying that we can save nearly $1 trillion per year. $1 trillion. That's a lot of money by making government systems, government agencies, government departments more efficient by removing the people who are not working. So he's saying that we'll remove those public servants who do nothing in a public department. we'll put them into the private sector and make them more productive. So his idea is that when you work for a private company, you're more productive. When you work for a public company, you have this very nice comfort zone in your mind that you're not going to be fired, and it's a long process in bureaucracy and government to get fired because the manager has to file a report and then there's a whole investigation. It takes a lot of time. So people think of government jobs, public sector jobs as safety nets. So he's like, we need to remove that safety net so people become more productive. That's his main idea, and he's very productive. He's always tweeting. As soon as he gave the talk, after like 5 minutes, people recorded videos and posted on X and started tagging him. He started replying to them. I was just looking at one of the few.
He is online.
Yeah, so
he's chronically online.
Imagine.
Chronically online.
So he's running XAI, one of the biggest AI startups. He also said during the whole talk that XAI, their product Grok, which is like ChatGPT, OpenAI has ChatGPT, XAI has Grok, Anthropic, the third biggest one, has Claude. So he said that we've tested Grok 3 now, and apparently Grok 3 has beaten all the other AI versions of whatever we see in ChatGPT, Claude, and everything. There's one Perplexity as well, but it's more like a backend system that others can use. But his idea is that I'm going to beat Sam Altman, which takes us to the last 2-3 days where they've been fighting a lot. Elon Musk.
You know what? I don't think it's fighting.
It's a very good fight, trust me.
I really don't see it as a fight, by the way. I see it as Musk, trying to get a reaction out of Altman, and
or
Altman
maybe
is
bullying him
exactly
into submission.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what happened is that Elon Musk offered to buy OpenAI from Sam Altman, and obviously. Sam
for
Altman,
$100 billion.
Yeah, and obviously Sam Altman is going to say no. I mean, are you kidding me? ChatGPT, it's on my laptop, it's on Majid's laptop, it's
Everyone's
on all of our laptops,
My phone, I also have an app. So I
No
use the app
way.
as well. I use it for
Even
voice
the
generated
app.
things.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So basically, what happened is that Altman responded in an interview, and what he said is so interesting.
Yeah.
He was like, I really believe that Elon Musk is not a happy person. I believe that he's not a happy person.
And he said
and
he's
that,
insecure.
Yes,
Because his
he called him
Grok is not
insecure.
performing as good as
Yes.
ChatGPT.
And then you know what even got more interesting is the fact that the interviewer then went like, are you afraid of the fact that because of the fact that Elon Musk works for Trump, works for the government, that he's gonna convince Trump to do something that won't be in your best interest? And then Altman responded, you know what, I'm actually not concerned about that. I probably should be, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And in that moment, Majid, you know what I saw there? Honestly, I never felt anything towards Sam Altman, but now I see him as a true visionary that he is. Because to give a response like it's very mature. By the way, it is very mature, and the fact that this is why ChatGPT, this is why OpenAI is doing great. Sam Altman is focusing on his own venture, his own enterprise. He is not focusing on Elon Musk. That is not his priority. It's Musk's fault. They founded OpenAI together in 2015, and Elon Musk decided, okay, I want to make Tesla what it is today in 2025. Isn't it crazy that we're saying 2025? By the way, I'm still not used to it. It's like kind of freaking me out a little bit that it's 2025, but anyways, that's past the point. That's beside the point. But I just, and you know what's crazy? Him kind of going, by the way, on a Zoom on World Government Summit here is almost a distraction, by the way, Majid. Like, because of that, I completely forgot about the Altman situation.
Yeah.
Just completely forgot about the fact that he called Elon Musk insecure.
There's like the whole story is interesting from a lot of perspectives.
Yeah.
Him offering 97.8 billion, not exactly 100. Elon Musk and some partners joined him, and they offered like, we'll buy OpenAI, the whole company, for 97.8. Sam Altman comes back, replies on Twitter, no, it's not for sale, but I will buy Twitter. He said, he didn't say X, he said Twitter for 9.78 billion. So that is the jab that Sam Altman took. Then he was at Paris AI Summit, where UAE and France also signed a deal, $30 to $50 billion of data centers. And there he was there, and everyone saw him and went up to him and was like, are you taking the offer? Are you taking? And then what word told you that this happened, that he got to be honest, after a point, after seeing so many videos, everyone did an exclusive. Bloomberg, he talked to Bloomberg, he talked to CNBC, but there was one channel, I'm forgetting the name, but he was going down the stairs and they were running after him. Oh, you're bad. And I saw some kind of frustration that he is trying to raise money for OpenAI. He has Stargate in progress with SoftBank and Oracle. Trump was the face of the whole project. But still, people are still asking him questions about Musk and AI, OpenAI. So I think he will eventually get frustrated that I have built something which everyone is now following. By the way, there's this new player in town. I was just testing it in the morning, Lesha. That's a French AI, and it's really, really fast. You see ChatGPT creating text like in lines, and like you see the whole transition.
It's slow when the request is long.
Lesha is by, what was the name of the company? Completely forgot it, but Lechat, Lesha. I think Shah, the word is for cat, but they decided like the chat, I guess. Use it, try it. It's the new player in town. It has like 200,000 downloads. But yeah, it's the new player in town with ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, and now Lesha.
But you know, Majid, like when we're
and
speaking about these Americans and all their AI projects, to be honest with you, you know who I think are the real players here? I think the real players here are the leaders here that we have in the Middle East. It's people like Hussein Sijwani. Honestly, every single day, by the way, more and more, I come to respect this man more because of the fact that he's not involving himself with these personal politics that are going on with all of them. He is playing it all to his advantage. He is playing it all to the Damac Properties empire. He's playing it to its advantage, and I have a really interesting story for you guys. So basically, Damac Hills 2. So if you know Damac Hills 2, you know that it's quite literally at the end of the world. It's in Al Qudra, and this location. You have to understand that this location, nobody was really interested in it. No, like a couple of years ago, a decade ago, a lot of people were not interested in it because of the distance. It is quite far. And what I actually discovered is that the person who actually owned this land first, it was not Hussein Sijwani, it was Tiger Woods. It was Tiger Woods. And I was so intrigued. And I was speaking to my father about this. And I'm like, how could it be Tiger Woods? Like, why would Tiger Woods have land like that? I'm like, who gave it to him? Did he buy it? And he didn't actually buy it. He was given the land by the government, and it was basically to promote Dubai. But what actually ended up happening is, Tiger Woods, he lost some money because of the feud with his wife. And so he was like, oh my God, I need some money. And these foreigners, whenever they need their money, where do they go? To the Middle East. So he actually basically sold the land to Hussein Sijwani. And because he was struggling so much, with the feud with his wife, he had to sell it quickly. He had to get it off. So Sijwani there, do you see how he's playing? He caught on quickly, he got the deal, and he got it at the lowest price. And that's why Damac Properties is the conglomerate that it is today. These Middle East players, they analyze what's going on in the West. And all of these, these emotional fights, what they're really doing, Majid, is they're using it to their advantage. This entire Altman, Musk, all that drama there. If you notice, these Middle Eastern players, they're not a part of it. By the way, do you ever hear that they have drama like that with each other?
No.
Not really. Perhaps it's like
the last
subtle.
drama we saw was over if there should be meetings or not.
Yeah, between Mohammed Al-Abbar and Al-Hattour. But Majid,
but
now...
it was a very good discussion, to be honest.
But Majid, now that I look back at it, I was actually speaking to my father about this, and he knows Hassan Al-Sirkal. And he was telling me how at some point Hassan Al-Sirkal and Mohammed Al-Abbar used to work together. And he told me that Mohammed Al-Abbar's idea wasn't exactly that, no, meetings are useless, don't have meetings. His idea was, if you look at his company, what they basically all do is in the morning, they're holding their coffee, they have their cake, they're like, okay, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Where they basically have that quick chat, that quick 30-minute chat. His idea was basically, don't have 3-hour meetings. Do not schedule meetings that are useless.
Or just don't go to a table, sit there for hours, just walk around, do something else with it.
And
walk and talk.
By the way, can I tell you something? What's something that's really been bothering me lately? When people want to have meetings with me, tell me about something they'd like from me, an opportunity, they're like, let's hop on a call.
Yeah.
I don't like it because you know how the call goes? It's me on my freaking phone, and me on my notes, writing down everything that they're saying. So then I started saying, hey, instead of calling me, can you please just text me what you're suggesting in bullet points? No, because that's what I do in the end of the day. That call is going to be transferred into notes. So let's cut the chase. Let's cut the time. And why don't you just give it to me in notes? And then I remember I was told by this one person, they're like, I'm sorry, I'm just old schooled like that. Listen, I was old schooled like that too. But honestly, Majid, ever since I've been a part of media, I've been under your mentorship, I've noticed that time is everything. Time is really everything. And really sadly, Leap in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, has finally ended. You know, it couldn't live on for that long. It was 4 days. I think we got everything that we needed in those 4 days. Saudi Arabia got everything that they needed. They got investments and deals that nearly reached $24 billion. Specifically, on day 3, there were agreements worth $1.8 billion that were seen. And what's very interesting about it is that EdgeNext data centers by Damac Hussein Sajwani is planning to expand its Saudi data center capacity to focus more on AI and cloud computing. And you know, there's even more projects that were launched. Majid, do you want to lead that discussion?
Leap, for me, this is the first time like I've followed it throughout 4 days.
Yeah.
And there's 2 things. Richard had a very good point that it's like CES and SXW. So the terms were quite like weird for me. I was like, what is CES? And then I went and find out.
Yeah.
So CES is the most powerful tech event in the world. Apparently, it happens in the US. And Consumer Electronics something summit. So Consumer Electronics show. And then I realized, yes, that he's right. He's completely right that Leap, just in its 4th edition, it's not even like it's been there for 15 years or 10 years like Jitex. It's just been there for 4 years, and within 4 years, they've gathered the world. They've created an environment where everyone wants to be a part of it. Everyone wants to exhibit there. Everyone wants to speak there. Everyone wants to be, even as a visitor, they want to be present there. So I've realized that they have become very big, and 215,000 last year. I still haven't found the numbers. I'm looking at all the press releases that they've sent out last year.
The hallways are so busy, Majid. Like,
so
you know,
I'm trying to find how many people went this year, and most probably it'll be more than 215 last year. So it's growing every day.
It's filled to the brim. It's almost claustrophobic. Literally, like you know when you can see the space on the ground at Leap, you can't see the space on the ground from the videos. Like it's crazy.
But the Zeal signed very big deals. Obviously, we're trying to do a post today. They've also announced that they're going for Hong Kong now. So Leap happened in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh only for the 4 editions, and this year they announced that next year, 2026, they're also going to hold a Leap in Hong Kong.
Hey, amen. May we be there, Majid. May we
Hong
be
Kong,
at Hong Kong.
I would love to go to Hong Kong. It's a very nice place,
Majid,
I've heard.
and it's a very wealthy place too.
Yeah,
Let me tell you, Hong Kong and
property
Singapore,
prices are
it's
way
crazy.
better, like way expensive than Dubai even.
Not everyone can live there. But what's it called? You know, Majid, what's beautiful about Leap is that it's actually been making these great strides, these great investments every single year. I forgot which one it was, but I think like 1 to 2 years ago, the first female robot in Saudi Arabia, it was actually revealed at Leap. And I'll show you the video after the show, but I saw it and I just got goosebumps because I'm like, oh my God, like Leap is actually great. Like I see why people are going there. Every single year the announcements that they make, they're always so insightful. And one specific announcement that was made that is so insightful, that is so special, is the fact that Saudi Arabia's Neom project, the 1.5 trillion project, has signed a $5 billion deal for an AI data center with DataVolt. And it was basically announced on the sidelines of Leap, and they're going to build it specifically in the Octagon area of Neom. And the reason why I'm seeing this announcement as something so special, Majid, is because now we all know, it's confirmed to us, to the public, that Neom is making great strides.
Yeah.
That Neom is going to be a success and that it is going to be built. And the fact that they are adding more money into it, it really, like, you know, Majid, like, I feel reassured. I feel reassured that it's going to be built and it's going to be an absolute success. And it's crazy to think about this, but, you know, just a few months ago, the CEO of Neom stepped down, and, you know, of course, Western media, you know, they had to run in and say, you know, this is because it's at threat, it's not going to be built. So the fact that we're hearing that, you know, they're making these great strides in building these AI data centers, starting with this DataVolt, I'm sure that there's more to come, is really telling of how successful this project is going to be and how much of a techno world it's going to be. By the way, like, you know how everything has an aesthetic, like everything on Pinterest? With Neom, like Majid, I truly don't know what to expect. I know that it's going to be so beautiful as the Red Sea, but I just, I don't know how this technology is going to look. I can't imagine it.
Only part that has opened is Sindhala, which is a tourist, ultra luxury, sort of like an archipelago of island and everything. And you look at it and it's beautiful. So as soon as the other projects, the Line, Oxagon is kind of like a mountainous thing that they're building. I don't know exactly what they'll build. We have the 3D models, but the real thing is the real thing. But Sindhala is very beautiful. Maybe one day we'll go and we'll see the prices are a little down. Or right now, I think they have discounts, we should go. But just to give you another glimpse of what happened at Leave, there were a lot of startups there. And obviously, it's a very big networking event as well because everyone's there. So there's a lot of startups got funded as well. I won't say the name of all of them, or maybe I should. There's Merit, which raised 28 million, Hydra 3 million, Lahint, it's a Saudi startup, they raised 4 million, Ula.me, Saudi Arabia again, 28 million, Torod, that's a Saudi startup, 42 million Saudi Riyals. Build Now, again a Saudi startup, got $9.7 million. Tajir, Saudi Arabia, 6.8 million. So many startups got funding at that event because they were there at a point when other people were there. A lot of funds were launched as well. 300 million fund was announced by Hands On Global Management, and they want to publish video games. That's one. 150 million from the National Technology Development Program to fund 4 new accelerators, again helping startups become bigger. 80 million digital infrastructure for Joy Capital. Your EdgeNext, your favorite, Mr. Hussain Sajwani's Damak and their data center side, EdgeNext, they have also promised that they'll make their, so they have a data center in Saudi Arabia already. So they'll increase the capacity to 500 megawatts by 2030. So that's also there. Everyone was there, literally.
Quite literally.
So the first day we saw 14.9 billion. Second day we saw nearly 7 billion. Eventually, what I thought was it racked up to nearly 20 billion. The final numbers we'll have soon. We'll share it with you. We also want to see how big it was.
You know, just an extra point to add in. So EdgeNext by Damak Hills by Hussain Sajwani is actually it's basically the subsidiary of Damak that's going to be used to help build those $20 billion AI data centers that Sajwani announced with Donald Trump in America. So, you know, that's just an extra piece of information that you guys should know. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is Smashi Business Show, a Smashi Business production under the Augustus Media Podcast Network. You can find our newsletter on Smashi TV, and do make sure to follow us on all of our news channels. And see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.